Hello, and welcome to From Garden to Plate. I'm Alice Erickson, the creator of this channel on YouTube. My entire goal with this channel is to inspire you to become a house chef using items that are fresh ingredients from the bounty of the harvest and preserved as well into making everyday delicious meals. I also truly want to inspire you to use organic methods in the garden because they are proven to give amazing yield. If that truly interests you, please like and subscribe. In today's episode, I am going to be making some tomato bisque and showing you how to overwinter some garlic bulbs. I am planting a white northern garlic to go overwinter in the raised bed. The reason I'm doing that is you can plant garlic in the spring. By the time you harvest it, it will be smaller compared to overwintering because garlic will grow better because it's stimulated by the cold. So if you overwinter, it has a longer time to be cold. So therefore, ideal conditions. Since I am planting now, I need to reconstitute my soil. I have here perlite mixture into some compost. I'm going to add that into the bed. I'll just rake it right in. I am using a garden rake like this, and I will move it over. As you can see, I have some mulch that is already into the ground right here. It's okay if it gets mixed in, it's just more organic matter. The reason I put it there is because I knew I was going to plant garlic after I harvest all my onions and shallots. I wanted to protect the microorganisms that are in the soil. So I'm just going to spread it out, and then I chop it. That way it gets mixed in really well. I'm only doing 2 rows in this raised bed because I am going to be planting onions on this side in the spring. The idea is to plant 2 rows, so therefore 18 to 24 inches apart. Also 4 inches apart in the row itself. I want to go down 2 to 3 inches deep into the soil, and I will be covering this with 5 inches of mulch, which I like to use the wood shavings. So I will show you all of that. I have a nice ruler here to make sure what I am doing when I go down the depth that I want. Okay, I have 2 water supplies here. They are about, I'd say 8 inches. Remember, we want 18 to 24. So I'm going to start here and here. It'll be still close enough to the water sources, so no big deal. So my first bulb, I got it ready. There's a flat side and there's a pointy. So therefore you plant this because that's where the roots will come out, and you point up. So I go through, dig down. I need to go between 2 to 3 inches. A little bit more. There we are. So I will go in, pointy side up. That's where the greens will come out of. And then I bury this guy. And I will be adding a thick layer of mulch on top of this. So I have to go 4 inches, correct? So I go over from where I planted, 4 inches. This is my next hole. The reason that you also add to your soil with the compost is because it's proven to give you a better yield to the plant, because when the soil is rich, it is more nutrient dense compared to just a standard fertilizer. So why not give your plants a proper start off? Where am I? Yeah, doing awesome. Planting pointy side up, flat bottom down. Bury that. And I will plant my 2 rows, and I'll show you how to properly mulch. It is a good rule of thumb to not overly soak the mulch but at least get it wet, so therefore it won't blow away. And here's the wind to give you an example. The shavings are good for the raised beds because they stay for the most part, but not the very top layer. So I will wet it down just to make sure it stays better for me. I wanted to let you know a few crucial things when it comes to planting garlic to overwinter. And that is, I've already finished my mulch and everything, so this is the finished bed. But the important thing is the water will get through, and you want roots to develop and a little bit of a plant. Don't freak out. You're not gonna have the big growth. That's gonna, if you do get slightly a little bit, it'll go dormant, and the root strength is the most important. That's what you want, so that way it has an amazing start in the spring. So that's why you plant 6 weeks before the first frost date of the winter season. So I am zone 6A, so therefore I'm around October 17th. That's why I planted when I did, to make sure that when I overwinter, I can get some proper growth in the roots, most importantly. Tomato bisque is delicious, but it can sure put some weight on your waist. So I do some substitutes in order to make it a little bit friendly to the diet. I substitute heavy cream for organic coconut milk, full fat. I've got my bowl of tomatoes that I picked and they're fully ripened. To give a variety of flavors, I'm doing a red and a white onion, and I want a little heat in the background to make a nice flavor profile, so I will add 1 chili, which is a jalapeno that is ripened. To give a true roasted flavor, I like doing Better Than Bullion organic vegetable base. But of course, from the bounty of the harvest, I am definitely going to be adding my Italian seasoning. Just wanted to tell you something. There is a lot of flavor in the skins of tomatoes. Typical recipes will tell you to blanch and peel them off. If you have an awesome blender like a Vitamix, it will puree everything and there won't be a texture. If you don't have an awesome blender and just a food processor, I highly suggest blanching your tomatoes because you'll get a lot silkier, smooth of a sauce. But since I have this, I will be making sure I get the flavor and the nutrients that is in the skin. I have everything ready here. So all my stuff is chopped. I have Better Than Bullion, I have my coconut milk, my seasoning. So what I'm going to do to revitalize the seasoning is a very pro tip there. Use a mortar and pestle. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's one of those combinations of words I just can't do. So I'm going to go in here, eyeball about 2 tablespoons. Go through, warm up everything that is in my seasoning. That releases the natural oils that are in here and opens it up. Wow, it's really potent now that I'm moving it. And I will eyeball for the amount that goes in here. It's easier to mix everything together here and then put it in the blender and then discard it into your pot. So I am going to do that really quick and show you. Okay, so I use the vegetable base. Take a small spoon. Usually put in 2 scoops. Got my coconut milk here. You will see that the fat layer is on top, so I will just use my spatula. There goes the milk and the cream. You want to use that. It is very important. I will eyeball how much seasoning I put in and think about it as a proportion. So just do a shake. I'm going to mix everybody together. That way I know that everything is mixed, and therefore when I blend it, it is a good combination and completely level. Consistency, it matters. The reason I really love the coconut milk too is, one, it's a great substitute, and for your waistline, I mentioned that earlier, but people who are lactose intolerant want that cream flavor, but they can't process that natural sugar that is inside of milk. So therefore, this is amazing. If I need more, I will add more. I have another can. So if you see here on my blender, there's different stages. I usually start off at 3, let it sit there for a moment, bump it up all the way to going to between either 8 and 10. I see how the consistency is and see how I like it. You can see that it has a natural thickness to it, so perfect. I will make sure every time I blend, I go up to 10 and I do it in stages. So I have my pot ready. Got my sprayer of olive oil. Because I'm using stainless steel, I need a barrier so it doesn't stick as bad. And then I will pour it in and just keep going until everything is used. I'm going to give it a taste test real quick before it really starts cooking. So I'm going to take a spoon. This is at the raw point even before it started reducing. Just want to see where my flavor's at. It's really good, very creamy, but I do need a little bit more seasoning. So I will just go in and shake it a little bit more. Use a spatula. And just mix this. Typical reducing takes about 40 minutes, so do plan when you are making bisque. Soup is a certain thickness, bisque is a little thicker than that, so you want to get that. But what's cool by adding the skins, this is already starting off a little thick, so that helped me out. And being that the paste tomatoes are in there. So throughout the process, you're just going to go and scrape the sides, rub on the bottom, and make sure you got no burning. Don't want that. Sally's supervising and making sure I'm doing this right. She's my manager for sure. Wanted to show you a nice close-up of where I'm at, and I'm just starting to warm up here on my burner with the consistency here. I occasionally go through and I see how it is. Time for the taste test. Look at that nice consistency I got there. That is a true bisque. The smells are incredible. Make sure I don't burn my face off. I should blow on it. Nice and creamy. You taste all the different things I added in there, such as the onion and the roastedness of this. Quite good. Hope yours comes out just as well. Thank you so much for viewing today.